Switch the dial, pull up a chair. Luke's got a mic and too much air. From headlines wild to late night bits, he'll say it all, and none of it sticks.
What's up, nerds? Back with another video, and this one, it's a political adjacent video. I'm not going to talk about the politics of Maduro and Venezuela and go into any of that stuff, right? I'm just coming at it from a different angle, a little bit of a different angle, because, or just to tell you a little bit of my interactions with Venezuelans, right? Because it's actually kind of interesting seeing all of this and talking about all of this, because I actually interact with Venezuelans a decent amount, right? And you're like, what? How do you do that? What the fuck are you talking about? It's because Venezuelans are the gold farmers of RuneScape. You know, traditionally, Chinese gold farmers take over World of Warcraft because they traditionally have the PCs to handle those, right? However, you know, RuneScape, you don't need anywhere near as many resources to play the game. It started off as a browser game. Now there are clients that you play on, RuneLite being the primary one, to the point where Jagex made their own client because so many people were playing their game on RuneLite, and they were like, man, we got to get a cut of this. So they made their own client. But, you know, this is a point-and-click game, very little graphics. There are graphics plugins now that you can download to play the game in higher definition. However, traditionally, I mean, it's just little boxes and stuff. There's very little that you need to play the game. So for Venezuelans, I mean, and there's decent money compared to, other games, right? Or other means of buying things. I mean, you can, and okay, so the value, let's not kind of get bogged down by the value of gold, because you can say all sorts of stuff. Let's just say right now, gold is around 20 cents a mil, just about, right? And so there are ways that you can extremely easily get an account to the point where it can get 1 mil RuneScape GP an hour. And at 20 cents a mil, that's what, $5 an hour? Something like that, right? And you do that 8 hours a day, $5 an hour, $40 a day, 7 times a week. 4, 7 is 28. I mean, $280 a week in Venezuelan. I mean, so obviously, there are farms. You have to pay the people that you're doing this grinding for. You have to pay the electricity, all these different things, right? However, let's be fucking real. You know, even if you just get half of that or 2/3 of that, I mean, $100 a month translated into Venezuelan pesos, or whichever the form of, you know, money Venezuelans is, that's a fucking, like, that's like a 6-figure job down there, dude. I mean, that's an insane money for just sitting there playing a game. And if you look up any of the memes of Venezuelan gold farmers, of Venezuela, like, there are people, I know people that went to Venezuela, got 15, 20 people, had this little building, had them set up with computers, and all they did is grinded RuneScape GP all day. I mean, if you just go anywhere into the game and you go, hola amigos, ¿cómo estás? They're like, hey, Venezuela! You know, like, it's, it really is like, there's a fucking lot of them, right? Because why bother dealing with getting your bot accounts banned when you can fully legalized, no risk of bans, no risk of anything, just have them just make honest money? And so, you know, it's very similar to, you know, I kind of think about it as the original Mexicans who, you know, outside of Home Depot, there's still obviously the, you know, Mexicans, duh. I mean, we're like a generation apart from the traditional, or at least for me, because, you know, a lot of things for me back in the day, hecho en Mexico. You know, it wasn't, everything was not made in China. Everything was, you know, hecho en Mexico. And now everything's obviously made in China. But for me, I always had extreme respect, especially I was around East Coast Mexicans, not West Coast. West Coast Mexicans are a little different than East Coast Mexicans. They're closer to the motherland, or whatever, and there's a lot more, Mexico used to own California, and, closer like beaners, right? And so for me, the Venezuelans in RuneScape, they are, hard ass workers, no fucking botting, grinding that shit out, and they were always a fun time. They still are a fun time to talk to. If you understand a little bit of Spanish, speak to them, it's just, and I know Venezuelans that are subscribed to the channel. Shout out to John. I know there are Venezuelans that participate in the RuneScape society economy, right? They don't just grind all the time. And so, all of this stuff, they are obviously offline right now or dealing with power issues, right? However, I've never come across a Venezuelan Veni, right, that I didn't have some respect for or enjoy my experience with, or just again, Veni's taking up my spot. Obrigado. Well, that's Brazilian, right? But when you finishing up, bro? He's like, oh, I've only got another more, and then I can hop worlds. We're taking up these worlds. Obviously, you're saying this in Spanish, right? But give me 10 minutes, and then I'll be done or whatever. And I was like, bet. I'll just chill for 10 minutes. Gives me the spot. Don't have to fight with these guys. Don't have to argue. They just want to keep it going, keep their stream going, make their money, monetary stream. They're not streaming. But it's just, something that I just, with all this stuff going on, I see all these different angles and stuff. And I just wanted to come at it from a RuneScape angle, because I don't know how many people, realize that Venezuelans are what keeps part of the economy going in RuneScape. There's a lot of bots in RuneScape, and they're the primary movers. However, if all bots get banned, the fucking RuneScape economy is propped up by fucking Venezuelans, right? And I respect the fuck out of them. They are some of the best people and players. I've never had bad interactions. And, it's just something that I just wanted to shout out Venezuela. I obviously, slight political, am happy they are free. I'm not one of those free Maduro retards, right? But not to take any shots. Again, we're not trying to make this political, right? But, that's just the little video. All right. Keeping these videos short, not trying to make huge ones. So thank you for watching. Smoke grass, eat ass, be excellent to each other. Like and subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Deuces.
Like the vid, leave a word, drop a comment, get absurd. Subscribe if you had some fun. We drop bangers one by one.